6 months ago, I joined a gym with a swimming pool, and at that time, I couldn't swim at all. I mean, I wasn't gonna drown or anything, I could doggy paddle around, but I couldn't do the front crawl. So I started going 3 or 4 times a week just to keep fit. And I started out by trying to do 10 lengths of a 25-meter pool. And at the beginning, I was hopeless. My technique was all over the place. I couldn't breathe. I'd never had lessons, so I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing, and I was agonizingly slow. But eventually, things started to improve. My technique got a little bit better, my breathing was under control, things got easier. And 10 lengths turned to 20 lengths, which turned to 30 and 40 and 50 and 60 lengths. And one day, I did 64 lengths of a 25-meter pool. Do you know what that is in distance? That is 1 mile. And 1 mile just so happens to be the distance from where I'm standing here in my hometown in Dundee, Scotland, across the river there. So I'm going to try and swim across there. The only thing is, the water here is freezing cold, and I'm going to attempt this wearing just a pair of Speedos. My name's Mike Boyd, and I'm pretty average. But over the last 3 years, I've been trying to learn new skills as quickly as possible. This series is all about attempting challenges that are out of my comfort zone. I want to try things that are extraordinary. This is Average Mike. The river I'm trying to swim across is called the Tay, and it's the longest in Scotland. I'm trying to cross at the point where the North Sea and the river meet, which means I'll have to deal with tides and currents. During the summer, this water sits between 10 and 15 degrees Celsius. That's pretty cold without a wetsuit. Clearly, the cold is going to play a huge factor in this challenge. I have 4 weeks to prepare for this. So I need to get used to the cold, acclimatise to the cold. So what I thought would be a good idea was to start taking cold showers and gradually reduce that temperature and prepare me for getting in the cold river. This is day 1 of my training. So just for reference, I usually take a shower at 35 degrees Celsius. So that's 25 degrees hotter than the river. I'm just going to reduce the temperature until I can't bear it anymore. So here goes. Oh, oh God. That temperature was 21 degrees Celsius. So that was awful. What I did was I reduced the temperature until I first started to hyperventilate, the uncontrolled breathing, and I was gobsmacked to learn that that temperature was like 19-20 degrees, which is basically the temperature of this room right now that I'm comfortably sitting in. Anyway, I'm just going to do this every day and see if I can bear colder temperatures for longer in preparation for getting in the river. Oh, 19 degrees. Taking cold showers definitely sucks. I'm not going to stand here and say that it's enjoyable, but afterwards you do feel pretty relaxed and refreshed, so there's that. So after 4 days of taking cold showers, I thought I'd get some advice from someone who's done this before. So I interviewed president of the Open Water Swim Club here in Dundee, Joyce McIntosh. Can I train for this by taking cold showers?
No. By taking cold showers, I don't think it's going to help you whatsoever, because you're standing in a cold shower that's coming down upon you. You're not fighting waves, you're not fighting wind, you're not doing any of that. So I think that's quite fruitless to do that.
Okay, that's what I've been doing.
Well, I would suggest that you get in every day. You do not wear a wetsuit. You try and just go with trunks and two caps. You try and get in every day. You set yourself a programme of building this up into small chunks until you can perhaps stay in the water comfortably for about half an hour.
So the best way to train, according to Joyce, is to get in the water. 10.
That's pretty cold, mate.
10 degrees Celsius. Okay, time to get serious. This is where I'm going to be training. This is a little harbour here. The aim is to get in this water and stay in there for as long as possible and acclimatise to the cold. So ideally I'd be able to stay in there for like 50 or 55 minutes without being dangerously cold. Today I'm just going to get in the water and see how long I can last before I start shivering. This will be my first time in the water. In case I don't survive. Ah! Ah!
Yeah. Is it cold?
Yeah. Oh, me!
You okay? Are you okay? You coming out?
Oh my god! Oh, that was awful.
You want to try and go in again?
No. Like instantaneous hyperventilation, like uncontrollable. Yeah. One of the difficulties with swimming in cold water is something called the cold shock response. That is your body's reaction to a sudden drop in temperature. So if you jump in cold water, you'll get this involuntary gasping, followed by a huge increase in your heart rate and breathing rate, and eventually shivering as well. All of this leads to a sense of panic, which makes it really, really hard to swim properly when you're experiencing cold shock. That's the reason why when you're on a boat they ask you to wear a life jacket, not because they don't think that you can swim, it's because it's really, really hard to swim when you fall in the water accidentally and get cold shock. However, you can acclimatise and dull the effects of cold shock and train your body to deal with the cold water better. Studies have shown that regular immersions in water have been proven to reduce the heart rate, reduce the gasping response, and prolong shivering until a lower body temperature. All of this means that you can swim better for longer. So the way to acclimatise to cold water and swim better is by regular immersions in cold water. That means every day. Okay, we're going to try and stay in a little bit longer today. Oh! I've already lost feeling in my hands and feet, but my breathing is somewhat under control. Been in the water 10 minutes, I've had enough. There is my hand. That is massive. That's about 20 minutes in the water. That's my longest I've spent in the water yet. For the next week, I forced myself to get in the river every day. And sure enough, I began to acclimatise. Gasping was reduced massively. My heart rate felt under control after just a few seconds. Shivering was delayed, and that feeling of panic began to subside. This actually works. That is cold. That is cold. So this water that I'm in right now, this is 9 degrees Celsius. That's only 4 degrees warmer than your refrigerator. And I'm calm, I'm controlled, I'm not shivering. What this means is I could start swimming. I was calm enough to breathe properly, which means I could start spending longer in the water, training. Acclimatising to cold shock is just part one of this challenge, and this is real progress. However, the hard part is still to come. Tomorrow on Average Mike.
This is all about cold endurance. That's your biggest enemy. That's enemy number one, and that's what you have to get over.
That was a tough, cold training session. Alright, today's the day. This is it. I recently checked. I have 81 active accounts for which I used to remember in my head all the passwords for. Inevitably, what happened was I had 81 near identical passwords that were something like my first pet's name plus my date of birth for all 81 of my accounts. That is a seriously bad idea. What if instead you had just one really good master password that gave you access to a service that stores, generates and autofills dozens of unhackable passwords and allows you to change a password with the click of one button? What if this service worked across mobile and desktop, was insanely easy to use and install, and was completely free of charge? Well, that service is called Dashlane. Check this out, right? Dashlane warned me that my password for Reddit was garbage. So I just clicked change password, it logged in automatically for me, created a crazy strong password that now autofills whenever I log in. There is no hassle. Dashlane is completely free to use and install, but you can get a 30-day free trial of their premium service, which includes a VPN, and you can save 10% if you use the offer code LEARNQUICK. And by doing that, you'll also be helping support this show. So check out Dashlane, links are in the description, and thank you very much for watching.